It hasn't even been a year since Top Gun Maverick has left us breathless from its death-defying stunts and heart-wrenching action. Clearly you remembered to breathe since you're watching this video. Let's talk about Top Gun and why Maverick is considered better than the original. I'm Joey C. Let's go! The cast of the original Top Gun is pretty great, but it's safe to say that Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer carried the star power of that one. But the sequel's cast brings things to another level, with John Hamm, Jennifer Connelly, Ed Harris, and Miles Teller is there too. But it's not just the big names and faces that make the movie.
It galls me to say it.
It's the different types of faces. Given the plot of Maverick revolves around Tom Cruise teaching a new generation of pilots the ropes, the cast is almost entirely composed of new characters. And the movie takes advantage of this by giving us a much more diverse cast than the original. Relative newcomers include Monica Barbero, Danny Ramirez, and Jay Ellis help flesh out the cast in a way that helps bridge the gap between the two generations of pilots. And if you think the new actors are great, just wait until you hear what Tom Cruise did to make this movie happen. The danger zone has never looked so better. And if you want to fly with us into the danger zone, then hit the like and subscribe button, man. We'd really appreciate it. We'd love to have you as friends.
Seems to me you've got it all figured out.
While delivering thrills and an engaging story, Top Gun provided gratuitous fan service for the fans of the Navy. But we're getting off track. And Maverick takes that to a whole new level with the new camera techniques available. In order to get the more sophisticated fighter jet footage, the production team put 6 extremely powerful IMAX certified Sony Venice 6K full-frame cameras on each plane. The flight scenes wouldn't have been nearly as visceral without 6,000 pixels per frame to allow the audience to feel every G-force on the actors' faces. And we haven't even talked about the opening scene of the movie. We got Maverick blasting through the sky, reaching Mach 10 in an F-18. It might be the most exhilarating moment in cinema history. Besides that final mission, but we'll get to that later. Whether it's the movie theater or your Netflix queue, it feels like you can't go 10 seconds without someone trying to prey on your nostalgia. Some might say Top Gun Maverick is no exception. Those people haven't seen the movie, and are also wrong. This movie weaves nostalgia into its narrative to help the audience connect with the characters. Take, for example, the scene where we're introduced to the new crew Maverick's going to be training in the movie. When Rooster unplugs the jukebox and starts playing Great Balls of Fire, our minds are cutting back to Maverick's memories before the movie does. In addition to callbacks like this, we get details on where Maverick's been since the original movie. We learn about the astronomical highs and lows of his career.
This will be your last post, Captain.
These details make him a much richer character, and the audience can relate to him, even if we'll never be as beautiful as Tom Cruise. Okay, I know we all love Maverick and Goose, but it's okay to admit that the characterization of those two in the original was purely surface level. To be honest, it's a struggle for me to refer to Tom Cruise's character as anything other than Tom Cruise, and that's okay. Top Gun is just the 80s encapsulated, and there's nothing wrong with that, but Maverick is a movie made in the 2020s. Wow, that sounds weird to say. And we as an audience have come to expect more from our blockbusters. We've already talked about how Maverick's past is more fleshed out, and how that enhances the present drama. But he's not the only returning character that's given more depth. Val Kilmer makes his return as the Iceman, and we learn more about him in his one scene than we ever did in the original movie. It's honestly pretty brilliant how they worked in Val Kilmer's real-life battle with throat cancer in his character. The fact that he can retain any level of his sassy rapport with Maverick using only a computer screen is pretty heartwarming. Another big W for the sequel is that Penny is a fully fleshed out character before she ends up as Tom Cruise's love interest, letting the audience learn about her life as a single mom and how that impacts her. Even her daughter gets some great characterization. You know, if Tom died in the finale, she would bring him back to life just to kill him again for breaking her mom's heart. I don't think it's controversial to say that the simplicity of the original Top Gun was what made it so great. That film has a very straightforward progression in how it builds its intensity of its story. Maverick was going to have to do something new to keep the audience on their toes. And they did. The movie finds multiple ways to twist what it's building up to, and we all know that Maverick's gonna end up team leader. This gives Maverick the opportunity to swoop in like a hawk and beat the training missions ahead of schedule. While this gives us a high point, there's still the possibility of whether he'll make it out of this movie in one piece. This level of tension even holds up on repeat viewings, to the point where it doesn't matter that nobody dies. Another point to Maverick. If a movie doesn't make you feel, I gotta be honest, I don't know if it did its job. The original Top Gun has a dramatic, emotional ending with the death of Goose, but that's really the only time the movie grips your heart in its hand. Top Gun Maverick, on the other hand, draws on the dramatic core of the original to more evenly spread its emotional weight across its runtime. Goose's death and Rooster's resentment of Maverick is felt throughout the entire movie, starting before the two characters even interact. Maverick carries the drama throughout the runtime, resulting in a much more emotionally gripping story. And we learn about the tough choices Maverick made to protect his best friend's son. And that's just the first loop of Maverick's emotional roller coaster. We touched on it earlier, but Val Kilmer's return as the Iceman was devastating. Working Val's real-life throat cancer into his character brought so much weight to the role. And the scene is so well executed, even if you didn't see the original, you'd probably cry when you watched it. And that's the sign of a good sequel. It might be a hyperbole to say that Tom Cruise is one of the last true movie stars around, but it's not hard to see why that hyperbole is at least somewhat earned. And is probably better known at this point for doing all his own stunts than his acting chops. Well, that and the Scientology thing, but I was told not to address that. What? I know, I didn't say it. The man's face is the first thing you think of when you hear Mission Impossible. He brought this energy to the production of Top Gun Maverick and was instrumental in bringing this sequel to life. Tom Cruise designed a 3-month training program for his fellow actors to help them prepare themselves for the ludicrous G-forces they were going to have to deal with in the numerous flight scenes. He was also intimately involved with how the film's breathtaking aerial stunts would be coordinated, working with the US Navy to formulate how to shoot each scene practically. He really wanted to fly in an F-18 again, and I can't blame him. But Tom's biggest flex of all was how hard he fought for Val Kilmer's return as the Iceman. It's clear that their friendship and mutual respect they built up in the first movie wasn't just in the script. You know what? I know you agree. The finale in the original Top Gun movie was pretty dope. An entire movie of flight training ends in a dogfight. That is awesome. Yeah, the emotional payoff of the final dogfight in the original was great, but Maverick built up Mitchell's role as a teacher throughout the whole movie, making it more likely that he wasn't going to make it. He had so much more riding on this mission with his strained relationship with his best friend's son, and the mission itself was way more dangerous than anything we've ever seen before. We've described the movie as an emotional roller coaster, but the mission they're training for basically requires the pilots to pilot a roller coaster without any tracks. The canyon they had to whip through is absurdly tight. Then, they have to fly straight up a mountain, zip right back down, shoot an absurdly small target with pinpoint accuracy twice,
The target area is only 2 meters wide.
and then do another insane climb?
That's impossible, even for a computer.
And do all this under an extreme time limit? What the hell is going on down there? Good lord. This makes the trench run from Star Wars look like mini golf. Oh, and I forgot the part where Maverick crash land near an enemy base, and they walk in like they own the place. They steal an outdated enemy fighter craft and barely escape with their life. Boy, I gotta be honest, I think I'm gonna need a nap after explaining all that. Any good story knows how to balance the drama with moments of levity. In the original Top Gun, we got to see the bros bonding by getting all sweaty on the volleyball court. Maverick one-ups this in the sequel by having the new team bond over a game of beach football. And this scene is just as abtastic as the original. Woo! And I wouldn't be surprised if this scene was only put in the movie just to prove that old Tom was in amazing shape. I mean, by God, look at that body.
I like that in the pilot.
And keeping in line with how the cast is much more diverse than the original, there aren't any boundaries on the beach. Everyone just ends up throwing and running with the old pigskin, if you know what I mean. The best part of the scene is that you get to see how buff the female pilots are, and I don't see how anyone could complain about that. Listen, I gotta tell you, I could keep this video going for an hour, but I'm not gonna do that. Listen, Top Gun Maverick, fantastic. Top Gun the original, fantastic. What are your favorite parts of each movie? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, everybody, thanks for watching.